Black inmates are converting to Islam, which they say is helping them deal with the regime inside and equipping them for life when they come out. Kurt Barling has our exclusive report from Pentonville Prison.
I feel more at ease.
Clutching his Quran, today is Peter Vitalis' first taste of freedom in 18 months.
I don't feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and do this and try and see if I can get away with it and stuff like that. I feel like, leave that. You know, leave that for the next person. You know, I'm bigger than that.
Despite spending most of his adult years inside, Peter believes he's a changed man. This time, for him and his family, things are going to be different.
Hello, sis. There you are.
And this is the reason why. Inside Pentonville Prison, there's a wave of spiritual awakening as hundreds of inmates who grew up in Christian homes convert to Islam. Every Friday, the old library is meticulously prepared for learning of a different kind. And all of that is down to this man, the prison imam. A former boxing champion who knew Muhammad Ali, he's a man of great presence, whom inmates respect.
I greet you, my brothers. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
The imam has convinced many that Islam is a way of changing their lives. Since 1986, there have been over 350 conversions in this prison alone.
Many of these black men have stolen cars, burgled homes, even resorted to assault. Many of them may not have considered religion before coming into prison, but the conversions to Islam have gathered pace so much by these young black men that the prison authorities are now turning this old library into a mosque.
Friday prayers is one of the few occasions where inmates can freely associate. So is it a way of helping prisoners to cope with the tedium of prison life, or a real spiritual awakening?
I think that the majority of the brothers are sincere. I think they're sincere. Because I try to express to them not only, you know, about the great knowledge in the Holy Quran and the great example of the Prophet, peace be upon him, but also how to apply it in their everyday life, you know. And if you don't teach them how to use it, it's no good.
At today's prayers, there are yet more conversions.
Ashhadu
Allah
Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness. There is no God but Allah.
There's no God but Allah.
Whatever you've done in the Jahiliyyah, in the ignorant life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgives you. All right? You start with a clean slate.
I wanted to do this from a couple of weeks ago. And as I said, my cellmate, he's a strict Muslim, you know, and he was trying to talk to me and show me the way. But I think I've done the right thing.
I'm a bit more aware of things, a bit more aware of my badness and how I would like to set it on a good path, you know. So, yeah, I believe it will help me in life.
Prison life has often provoked a search for spiritual awareness, but a conversion to Islam involves many sacrifices. No smoking, no drinking, no adultery, and praying 5 times a day. I asked a group of converts, some of whom preferred not to be identified, why they were now prepared to make those sacrifices.
When he talks, he radiates something, you know what I mean, and sitting there listening, it's like everything around me, become oblivious, barring what the Imam been saying. And when I go back to my cell, I felt rejuvenated, as it were, feel good within myself.
Before I converted, I was down the block nearly all the time, really. You know, I mean, the block is like the segregation unit. They'll always find me down there for something or another, because they say I'm violent, I entice certain things, but I'm disruptive. But at the end of the day...
Non-conformist?
No, well, you know, at the end of the day now, I feel I feel calm.
Yes, yes. And I tell you another thing, sorry. The officers, they show a bit more respect to the Muslim boys, funny enough, and people might not realise that, but the black boys who go Muslim, the officers will show a bit more respect to them because they're a bit more disciplined than the ones who just run around landing and get nicked every minute.
In a way, you guys, because you really made that commitment and you're quite devout, you must stand out even amongst your peers. But, you know, there must be some people there, but they're going along for the ride.
They're just spoiling it for everybody else, you know what I mean? The officers look on that and think, maybe that's what they're like, maybe that's what everybody's like, but we're not.
While it may ease the pain of losing their freedom, adopting a new value system and changing your approach to life isn't easy.
Yes, I agree with my brother there that it's extremely hard at times, but you've got to be strong. And also, I believe with the love of Allah, you understand what I'm saying? It gives you the strength to overlook the Satans, as it were, but it's extremely difficult.
The real test, of course, is what happens to these converts once they walk out through the prison gates. Will the realities of the outside world prevent them from keeping up the Islamic discipline that's so much easier to maintain inside?
I'm not saying that, you know, there's no one who won't reoffend, you know. But the thing is that if they're conscious of their prayers and they follow the guidance of Allah in the Quran and they follow the Sunnah, the way of the Prophet, prayers and peace be upon him, they won't slip, you know. They will stay strong. We all need that strength. I need it.
Peter's strength comes from sharing a cell with a lifelong Muslim. They've known each other since childhood. They were raised on the same street and went to the same school.
On the outside, he was just like, you could say, a terror. He used to be doing loads of crime, like making money. Everyone had money on their mind, you know what I mean? You have to survive some way. He's out pretty soon. I know, I've got a feeling he's going to change a lot. He's changed in there, and he's going to change, inshallah.
Good afternoon. Would you like to take a seat, please?
Once out, the first test for Peter was getting his life back to normal, finding a job and keeping up his faith. Some converts quickly let it drop, others stick with it. No one has researched the success rate. Peter's story is just one of many. That was 8 weeks ago. Since then, Peter hasn't been back to the mosque we filmed him at. We have spoken to him, and he said there have been temptations, but now we've lost contact. It may be that he's slipped back into those old ways, or simply that he wants to rebuild his life in private.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But because that's the test world. It's like out there, the main important test, because you've got women around you, you've got all adultery going on, you've got all crimes, you need money, and he's got this problem, you've got that problem. It's going to be hard, but that's a test from Allah.